the door.
You need help looking for them?
Tonight, we look at 6 disturbing camping encounters caught on camera. Real moments, real danger. Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying footage like this. Let's begin. Jody and Joe are a UK-based couple who left behind their city life in London to embrace full-time van life. Their YouTube channel, usually filled with wholesome DIY renovations, cooking routines, and scenic travel logs, offers an honest look at the ups and downs of mobile living. During a road trip through Wales, filled with stunning landscapes, starry nights, and cozy meals in their converted 2018 Peugeot Boxer, they captured more than just beautiful memories. What started as a dream trip took a sharp and unsettling turn in the early hours of the morning.
Our trip to Wales was an overwhelming success. The views were to die for. We loved driving through the valleys, up on top of the hills, seeing all the sheep. I think our favourite place to camp was in a valley. We spent 2 nights there and it was near a river and it was just so beautiful to be in amongst all the hills and see the stars at night from the bottom. Joe managed to find a house that he would really like to buy. It was nestled in like a forest on the side of a lake, and Joe was like, if I'm going to live in Wales, that's the house I'm going to buy. We don't have all that much counter space and there's not much area for chopping vegetables, chopping meat. We did, however, manage to make ourselves a roast, which went really well, courtesy of the Ninja Foodie. It was the perfect first destination for our van life adventure.
Around 4 a.m., while the couple was fast asleep inside their van, Joe was jolted awake by a noise. Someone had opened the back door of their van. When he opened his eyes, a stranger was already inside, silently staring back at him. What made it more disturbing was the intruder's demeanor. No panic, no aggression. He simply backed out and disappeared into the darkness without a word. The couple had been confident the doors were locked, as they always followed the same routine each night.
It's 4 in the morning, and I've just been woken up by some guy opening the back door. I've no idea if he drilled it and I was in a deep sleep. I open my eyes and there's a guy staring me in the face. I just shouted at the guy and said, "What the f***?" And he just calmly backed away and walked up the road and just disappeared, like it was nothing. So dangerous. I'm sure I locked the door. I always lock the door. I shut the back door and locked it, but yeah, now I'm just up and looking out the window nervously.
After the shock wore off, they began to question what had gone wrong. Upon testing the lock system, they discovered a critical flaw. The rear doors could appear locked, producing the usual confirmation sound, but remain unlatched if the system hadn't fully reset. With just a light pull, the door could be opened, exactly as it happened that night. This realization prompted them to take immediate action. They installed a deadbolt to ensure no future incidents could occur and reviewed their entire security setup. What was most unsettling wasn't the possibility of theft. It was the ease and silence of the intrusion.
After our run-in with the burglar, we wanted to double check that we know how to lock everything properly. The only way the guy could have got in is either if he picked the lock or if Joe didn't lock it properly.
We're starting to think that the guy didn't break into the door and maybe it's not locking properly. We're going to do a test run, lock up, and Jodie's going to be the intruder.
That should lock the van, but I don't think it is.
It still makes the sound, but it doesn't turn red. So let's try locking it.
This is how we got in. We didn't lock it properly.
But I pressed lock.
I think it needs to reset the system. So I think you press the button once and it resets it all to unlocked, and then you press it again to get the red light.
Open the door. Try the back door. So you're saying the burglar didn't break in, I left it unlocked?
I'm pretty sure either you didn't lock it properly or he's like a whiz with a lockpick.
Despite nothing being stolen and no one being harmed, the feeling of vulnerability was profound. Being alone in a van, deep in a remote area, and knowing that someone had entered their space undetected left a lasting impression. The couple decided to move forward, continuing their van build with cautious optimism and a more serious approach to safety.
So 188. 188, yeah.
So
I don't know how we're
small.
going to get it in.
After our break-in debacle and Mr. Can't Lock a Van has installed a deadbolt, we're going to move on to the next part of our build, which is to separate the garage from the front of... Did you just walk into the bin? We're going to move on to the next part of our project, which is to separate the garage from the shelving area at the back.
Underskirt?
Try again.
It goes under the fridge.
Skirting board.
It's not a skirting board.
What are you doing?
Trying to measure the arch.
I feel there's a better way. Surely if you do something with a compass.
A compass? Just do something with a compass.
Get a protractor.
What makes this event so chilling is how effortlessly it happened. No forced entry, no warning signs. It was a clear reminder that in van life, even the smallest mechanical oversight can become a major risk. And while the man wasn't aggressive, the situation could have easily escalated. The fact that the van doors appeared locked only added to the illusion of safety. Was this just an isolated incident? A harmless passerby testing doors? Or had the stranger planned something more? One thing is certain. That night, the dream of freedom collided with the reality of danger. And for a few quiet seconds, their mobile home was anything but secure. Hold on a sec. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. In April 2025, Australian content creator Tyler Thompson uploaded a video chronicling what was meant to be a routine weekend of off-road adventure and camping in Barrington Tops National Park. With upgraded vehicles and a full crew of friends, the trip was originally planned as a fun gear test and exploration of the remote bush trails. But things quickly unraveled. What began as a scenic escape transformed into a dangerous survival situation, not because of wildlife or the paranormal, but because of extreme and unrelenting weather. The problems started before they even reached the trailhead. One of the group's vehicles was mistakenly filled with the wrong fuel, forcing that driver to leave early by tow truck.
This was one of those adventures where we were met with problem after problem. Nothing really went to plan, and we ended up having to get out of the mountains as quick as possible with rising floodwaters. Our original plan was a weekend in Barrington Tops of full driving, camping, filming and testing out the new Jack U. On the way there, Dad had accidentally filled his 3-litre diesel Patrol with petrol, meaning we spent our first day sorting out that issue before sending him home on a tow truck. So by the time we got up into Barrington Tops, it was late and absolutely pouring with rain. We knew there was meant to be some rain around this weekend, but there was way more coming than we expected.
By the time the rest of the team reached the park, heavy rain had already set in, much worse than forecasted. They tried to push forward, setting up temporary shelters and trying to make the most of it. But by the second day, the conditions had deteriorated. Trails that had been dry were now flowing streams. Filming became nearly impossible, and simply navigating the terrain posed serious risks. Realizing the severity of the situation, the group decided to leave early, but their exit was blocked.
Well, it's a Saturday morning. We're up in Barrington Tops National Park for a weekend of camping, full driving, exploring, and it's absolutely pouring down rain and we're standing here soaking wet. How are you guys liking the trip so far?
I haven't the best trip yet.
Nice and cold,
Yeah.
rejuvenating.
We sort of knew it was going to be wet this weekend, but we figured we got the awning, we brought this like Opus inflatable thing, Laken's in there in a swag, we got the camper trailer, but we sort of didn't realise it'd be this wet. When we're here and it's just pouring down rain all night and all morning, we're kind of like, now what?
Just flogging down.
Now what is exactly what I think.
And now we're already here, so we got to do something.
Yeah, I think we're just going to leave the camper trailer and the inflatable Opus thing there. We'll pack up this awning, get in the cars and, I don't know, go for a bit of a drive and try and make something out of this weekend.
The main road out of the mountains had completely flooded. What was once a shallow creek was now a fast-moving, waist-high torrent. Depth markers showed 800 millimeter, well beyond safe crossing limits. A local farmer directed them to an alternative route known as Mud Hut Road. But when they checked that crossing, it too was underwater.
So it's just absolutely soaking up the Barrington tops, and we had to get out of there. And this is one of the reasons we thought we're going to get stuck up in the mountains here. And that's like not even thinkable about crossing. That's like deep out there. Like there's a marker here close, and that's 800 mil, 0.8 meters. It's going to be even deeper out in the middle, and it's just flowing out there. So we're going to get out the maps. There's pretty much like trees going down that. We're going to get out the maps and try and suss a plan, because I don't know, everything is so wet up here. Like all our gear is so wet, everything is soaked, and we kind of want to get home at this point. What a weekend. So yeah, we just spoke to the local farmer, and he's given us another road to try out, Mud Hut Road. But he said there is a causeway on it, which we may or may not get across, but he said you may as well head up there and have a look at it anyway, which we're going to do.
With few options left, the group monitored the water level and waited. By early evening, it had dropped nearly 200 milliliters. Still risky, but no longer impossible.
4 minutes to 6. We're going down to see if this water causeway has come down enough that we can try and cross it. Fingers crossed, otherwise, I don't know. We're stuck.
Still there.
Still there. It has gone down a little bit. It's not stupid, but he's got a windrobe, so he's safe.
It's like up to your, just above your knee. It's about your knee.
I was just watching back the video we took when we were here a couple of hours ago, and that thing has dropped probably nearly 200 mil. So it definitely is dropping. So that crossing should be crossable within an hour or two. It's down around 600 mil now, but while we're waiting for that, we may as well shoot back and check the bigger main one, which is only about driveway, if that. So we'll go check that, see how that looks, and then work out our options.
They returned to one of the crossings and began carefully testing the road. One of the heavier, more elevated vehicles was sent across first, tied to a recovery rope in case something went wrong. The crossing succeeded. However, this was only the beginning. In the hours that followed, the group encountered 6 more flooded crossings. Some bridges were partially destroyed, others blocked by downed trees or debris. More than once, they had to exit their vehicles in the middle of the night to clear obstructions by hand, alone in the wilderness with only headlamps and instinct to guide them.
I do want to reinforce to be extremely careful doing this, as the road may have collapsed under the water, logs can come down, vehicles can get washed away, and there is just a lot of factors to consider. We hung around for a further few hours, walked the crossing, test drove in and out to different spots to feel out the bottom and see where the water was hitting the vehicle, made sure it was completely safe, where all the water was flowing under the vehicle, and we were good to go. While not an expert, I have crossed hundreds of water crossings off-road in my four-wheel drive all across Australia of different depths and flow rates, and have a good understanding of what these vehicles can and can't do and what to be aware of. With the GQ being higher and heavier than the Ute, I made the call to drive back across and attach a rope to Lake and to bring him across just for that extra safety. And we made it. Unfortunately though, the adventure was not over yet.
Causeway number 5.
Yeah, so I think after that one I counted 6 more. They've all been concrete bridges and they've all been crossable. Like I think we've timed it good. None of them we've had to drive through water, but some of them we had to dodge rubble. But this one we're going to have to clear that big tree there, and then probably clear some of that shit over there too. It's what, 10:30 at night. It's the same thing we're doing, what, 2 weekends ago at Chickachester State Forest. We're out to bloody midnight. It's going to be the same thing tonight, but we're getting there.
Despite exhaustion, wet gear, and fading visibility, they pushed forward. With experience and caution, they navigated each obstacle, until finally, the trail opened up and the night sky cleared. This wasn't a supernatural encounter, but in many ways, it was just as harrowing. The quiet danger of isolation, combined with unpredictable weather, created a situation that could have easily turned tragic. Tyler's team had both the technical knowledge and the discipline to wait, test, and act at the right time, something that many in similar situations don't have. Would someone less prepared have made it out? Or would panic and poor judgment have turned this storm into something far worse? In the wild, it doesn't take much for adventure to turn into survival, and sometimes the scariest threat is simply that there's no way back. Outdoor Family is a Turkish-based YouTube channel celebrated for its calming portrayals of outdoor life, cozy campfires, family bonding, and scenic getaways into nature. Their videos usually highlight the beauty of remote living, capturing the peace that comes with stepping away from modern distractions. But during one trip in late November 2023, a tranquil autumn escape in the forest turned into something far more unsettling. The family had selected a quiet, isolated clearing nestled between wooded hills, framed by vibrant fall colors.
Tamam iyidir.
During the day, everything appeared normal. They gathered firewood, foraged for mushrooms, and enjoyed the calm of the wilderness. As night fell, something shifted, not just in temperature, but in the overall feel of the environment. The forest, once filled with ambient sounds of rustling leaves and distant birdsong, fell silent. A heavy stillness settled in. Later in the evening, faint noises could be heard at the forest's edge. They were subtle, difficult to identify. Initially, the family didn't think much of it. One of the adults even stepped outside the tent to investigate and secure their surroundings, unaware of what was happening just beyond the visible tree line. It wasn't until the next morning that the true nature of the disturbance was revealed.
Evet.
Evet. Duydun?
Bence kurt sesiydi.
Evet.
Ben gidip bir bakayım, tamam?
Ha? Evet.
Ben de. Şey yok. Kurtu da herhalde.
Evet.
Burada kapanı çadının yakında takayım, tamam? Belki yakalarız.
While checking a trail camera placed near the outer edge of their site, they made a chilling discovery. The footage showed a pack of wild wolves, 4, maybe 5, circling their camp in the dead of night. The animals had moved silently through the trees, remaining unseen and undetected by the family. At no point had they made noise or behaved aggressively, which made the footage all the more disturbing. At one point in the recording, the camera caught one of the adults walking alone, collecting wood, completely unaware that several wolves were only meters away, watching from the brush.
Dün gece fotokaban kurtları yakalamış.
Hadi ya.
Evet, ben odun toparlarken hep devamlı ben gelip giderken ben onları görmedim ama onlar beni görüyorlardı.
Kaç tane?
4-5 tanelerdi. Güzel ama.
Despite the discovery, the family remained calm. They didn't panic, and they didn't abandon their site. Instead, they used the moment as a reminder of nature's unpredictability and the thin veil that separates peace from danger in the wilderness. This was not a violent or supernatural event, but what makes it so haunting is exactly that. The wolves never howled, they never attacked, they simply watched. It's a chilling reminder of how wildlife can move undetected, even around humans, and how vulnerable one can be in such remote settings, especially with children present. Had the wolves chosen differently, would the outcome have been the same? Or did they hold back for reasons we'll never fully understand? In the wild, not every threat announces itself. And sometimes the scariest thing is realizing just how close danger was, without you ever knowing. In late May 2025, An unsettling video surfaced from the Indonesian YouTube channel Min Story. It documents an overnight camping trip inside a dense, remote forest with a reputation for paranormal activity and reports of forbidden rituals. Known locally as a forbidden forest, this site is avoided after dark, with stories of spiritual disturbances tied to a nearby hilltop market believed to host wealth-summoning ceremonies. This time, the solo creator is not alone. He's joined by a volunteer subscriber interested in experiencing the location firsthand. Together, they set up a makeshift shelter, prepare food, and brace for a long, haunted night.
Oke, teman-teman, jadi untuk malam ini saya akan coba melakukan explore. Jadi nanti kameranya itu di sini Bang Ekal ya. Jadi Bang Ekal nanti salah satu di sini Bang Ekal sambil bakar dupa. Nanti sambil bakar dupa dan merasakan suasana-suasana yang ada di sini. Saya akan coba yang tadi suara tadi kayak Bang Ekal. Yang tadi sebelah sana ya ada suara-suara teman-teman. Jadi nanti saya akan coba explore ke sana. Nanti kameranya itu fokus ke saya juga nanti sama Bang Ekal juga ya. Jadi Bang Ekal terus berdoa aja kalau tempat kayak gini ya. Karena kan pokoknya kalau ada apa-apa ataupun yang merasa yang aneh ya, tinggal teriak aja, teriak-teriak manggil nama saya gitu kan. Nanti kalau sana tuh langsung sini, tahu kan? Ini dupanya dua ya. Nanti teman-teman. Jadi saya akan coba explore ya, explore dulu ke sebelah sana yang tadi ada suara-suara ya. Nanti Bang Ekal akan bakar dupa di gubuk ini.
As the sun sets, strange noises echo from the trees, unfamiliar rustling, groans, and faint high-pitched sounds. Despite warnings from locals to respect the forest's taboos, including burning incense and offering salted eggs.
Tuh, gubuknya ada di bawah sana. Gimana, Kal? Hei. Gimana? Ya, apa? Ada apa? Aman? Apa gimana tadi? Ada yang aneh?
Ada yang aneh, Bang.
Di mana? Sebelah mana?
Sebelah sini, Bang.
Hah? Sebelah sini?
Iya, tadi ada bayangan.
Banyak kayak gimana bayangannya?
Bayangannya hitam.
Bayangnya hitam besar apa?
Hitam besar.
Terus
dia lari apa, Bang?
Oh. Mungkin aja teman-teman. Ya, di sebelah sini ya. Itu kan ada yang hitam besar juga ya. Hei, siapa ya tadi ya? Di sini tadi, Kal? Di sebelah sini.
The pair begins testing the legends by performing small rituals and splitting up to explore different parts of the woods. One remains at the shelter, conducting an incense ritual, while the other heads toward the area where earlier sounds were heard. Tension steadily grows, and as the night deepens, their cameras begin picking up audio anomalies. The forest, once quiet, now seems alive with layered, unsettling noises. Midway through the video, a significant shift occurs. One of them becomes visibly disturbed, reacting to something unseen moving through the trees. He reports seeing a large, dark figure sprinting unnaturally fast through the brush, a shape that matched the descriptions given by villagers of a shadow-like presence in the area. Later in the footage, at around the 36-minute mark, a disturbing detail emerges during playback. In the top right corner of the frame, a faint figure can be seen moving across the screen. It appears humanoid, but the movement is unnatural and partially cloaked in shadow. There is no clear source or explanation for its presence. Following this, the tone of the night changes completely. One of the team members experiences severe disorientation and claims to have seen a red-eyed silhouette in the distance, which vanished as he approached. From that point on, the exploration ceases. The group leaves the camera running but decides to retreat and remain inside the shelter, mentally and physically drained. The video ends without injury, but the psychological toll is evident. Fatigue, confusion, and emotional exhaustion follow them as they quietly pack up and leave the forest before daylight. The behavior of both participants suggests that something shifted in the forest that night, whether due to fear, suggestion, or a real unseen force. The captured figure and red-eyed silhouette, while not definitive, add to the long-standing lore surrounding this forest and its forbidden rituals. Was this simply a case of fear-induced hallucination in a deeply charged environment? Or did the team actually encounter something beyond explanation? Whatever the answer, the forest's reputation now seems far more credible and far more terrifying. This encounter was anything but typical. Miranda is a creator who uses TikTok to share candid moments from her everyday life. From simple routines to spontaneous hikes, she's known for documenting her world with honesty and transparency. On this particular day, she was hiking with friends and casually filming like always. But what began as another lighthearted outing took an unexpected and disturbing turn, one that quickly became the focus of her most talked about video.
Alright, so this little girl's lost and now we're looking for her. You need help looking for them?
Did y'all see that?
Where are you going?
Hey, do you know where your mom is? Or your dad? Are you lost?
We're trying to help you.
Are you okay?
We're friendly. We're trying to help you.
Are you okay?
We're friendly.
Are you lost?
Do you know where your mama and dad is? So you can get with them? You shouldn't be by yourself out here. Huh?
What? My daddy got pee. He went pee? Here, I can't hear you. I'm going to get a little closer so I can hear you.
While walking through the woods, Miranda's camera captured something odd ahead on the trail. A small child, standing motionless between the trees. At first, the group assumed it might have been a trick of the light, or even something paranormal. The child didn't speak or move, just stared silently. As the group cautiously approached, they realized this was no illusion. It was a real little girl, standing alone in the woods. She appeared to be confused and unsure of her surroundings. Though not visibly distressed, she was clearly disoriented and hesitant to interact. The group tried speaking to her, asking if she needed help or knew where her parents were. Her responses were vague and unsettling. She mentioned something about her father, but gave no clear explanation of how she ended up alone. There were no adults in sight. Sensing the situation was serious, Miranda went to get her uncle, who was hiking nearby. When they returned, they discovered the girl's grandmother not far from where the girl had been found. According to the grandmother, the child had been playing with other kids while the mother stepped away to search for them after they scattered. The grandmother had remained in place, expecting the children to return, but one had wandered farther than expected and become completely separated.
Alright, so quick story time before bed. The little girl was walking around lost. There was a grandmother and a couple of other kids, and apparently the other kids were also missing, and the mom was out looking for them. We didn't see them, or else we would have also brought them back to the grandmother. Whenever I stopped recording the video, I grabbed my uncle and also saw the grandmother and reunited them. Not sure how they got separated, but I guess that's why they have leashes for kids. I don't know, but it's all good. I just thought it kind of looked like Blair Witch Project, so that's why it's called the Ghost Girl video.
In a follow-up post, Miranda explained what happened, providing reassurance to her viewers. She clarified that the child was reunited with her family, and no official help had to be called. Though things ended safely, the incident had deeply unsettled everyone involved. What made this situation so unnerving wasn't just the image of a lone child in the woods. It was how strange and out of place she seemed, and how easily things could have ended differently. It also highlighted how quickly children can disappear in forested areas, even with adults nearby. What felt like a paranormal mystery at first turned out to be a very real and dangerous situation. Had Miranda's group not walked that trail at that exact time, How long would the child have remained lost? And what if there had been no family nearby at all? In the wild, even the most innocent scenes can turn sinister in an instant. April 14th, 2024 began like any other day for Mo Sargi, a popular YouTuber well known for his fearless overnight explorations in some of the world's most haunted and remote locations. But on this particular day, what started as a simple camping trip would turn into a nightmarish experience, one that neither he nor his friend Moshi would forget.
Yes. Yo! You're going the wrong way! Are you lost? I think he's going the wrong way. I'm over here! You're going the wrong way, bro. Did you get lost or something? What?
There's a guy right there.
There's a guy?
I saw a guy right there.
What do you mean there's a guy?
Go into your property.
There's a guy.
There's a guy right there.
Where?
Dude.
What did he look like? What did he look like?
He had like a outfit on, like a camouflage, a greenish.
Actually?
Yeah, he's right there. He's just wearing camo.
Camo?
Yeah.
It's him. He's still here.
Oh, that's the camo, man? Oh my god, man. Actually kind of scared, man. Good thing it's right outside. He was down there to the left.
Hello? He was wearing his camo?
Yeah, down there to the left.
What color was it?
It was like greenish, but there's different shades of green. It's kind of like different shades of gray, but green version.
So he's still trying to blend into this.
Yeah.
God damn it with this guy.
Who is he? Is he just a random guy that lives here?
From what I found his diary last year, or last fall, before I left for the Dominican.
Yeah.
He had a diary, and in the diary had like pictures of me, like photoshopped with like a noose around my neck, and this guy hates me. Apparently he was a longtime fan, and he tried to reach out to me to help him out with money, and I never replied apparently.
The two had planned to camp on an abandoned property in Canada, owned by Mo. They set up their hammocks, prepared the site, and even passed the time shooting arrows at a creepy mask they found lying around, just for fun. At the time, it seemed harmless, but that mask would soon take on a much darker meaning. While retrieving one of the arrows, Moshi wandered deeper into the forest, and that's when it started. He spotted a figure hidden in camouflage, watching silently from the woods. Mo quickly realized who it was: the Camo Man, a mysterious stalker who had been seen once before on Mo's property. A year earlier.
Bro, this is ridiculous. If he's still here,
I'm actually scared.
Camping out here is gonna get really scary. Thing is, this guy's got camo on, right? So it's like extra hard for us.
Mo had discovered a disturbing diary, apparently belonging to this man. It contained edited photos of Mo, some with nooses digitally drawn around his neck, and other threatening imagery.
I have a feeling we're being watched, bro.
The diary also suggested the man had once been a fan, turned bitter after being ignored. As the reality of the situation set in, the tone shifted completely. Their peaceful day had just become something much more dangerous. Mo and Moshi searched the area, hoping to catch a glimpse of him again, but the man had disappeared. Still, the feeling of being watched never left them. They left the property briefly, hoping to throw off the stalker, but returned as night fell. That's when things escalated.
Whoa, what the fuck was that? What was that?
What do you mean?
There's someone just walking around.
No.
I heard him. I swear to God, he's here.
Bro, don't stress me out, man.
Bro, I was literally just following
Is this a prank?
Huh?
Are you pranking me?
No, I'm not pranking you. I heard somebody walking around. Like, actually somebody walking around. Where's the Temu flashlight, the bright one?
It's not in my house.
You have it?
Yeah.
While trying to sleep, they were startled awake by loud footsteps circling their camp. Flashlights were switched on, but there was no one visible.
You should turn off lights and see if he's around it here somewhere. There's no way this guy's walking around in pitch black, right?
Yeah.
I don't see anything. Holy moly.
So I'm scared of the dark, but can I keep the lights on?
But it is so dark. I swear to God, I just saw him.
Where?
Back there somewhere.
He's there?
Somewhere over there. He's not there now. Should we try to go after this guy? It'd be risky. Like, we are here to camp out, but how are we going to camp out here? This guy's literally on the property and he's watching us. Like, I heard his footsteps. He literally came through here and... Oh, what the... Yo, what the? Hey, that was him. That was him. That was him. Come on, run, bro. Come on. Watch your step. Watch your step. That was him. Oh, the f did he go?
Until a beam of light flickered in the trees. Then, just beyond the trail, the camo figure appeared again, just long enough to confirm he was real, before fleeing into the woods. Mo and Moshi tried to pursue him, but every step forward felt increasingly like a trap.
Logan? Where are you? Yeah, it's gone so quiet. He's definitely watching us. Thing is, we need the lights to see. Somehow this guy's able to see in the dark. He's like a freaking vampire or something.
Do you want to go back to the campsite and regroup?
And do what? We just left the campsite. We want to find this guy. Either he's luring us to a trap.
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm saying. Because right now we're in unknown territory, right? Like he might have set something up.
Well, no, we're in my territory. It's not unknown. I know all these like trails and stuff, right? But he's hiding somewhere. He's definitely not sleeping at the other campsite, which I haven't been to.
They worried about booby traps or worse. And the deeper they went, the more convinced they became that the man was deliberately leading them into danger.
To see if I can see any other flashlights, but I don't see anything. Man, this Timu light makes everything creepier here, dude. What the hell? Logan! The fuck was that? Oh, what the? Huh? Oh!
Bro, what the hell? He's right there.
Yo! What the f? Sit tight, bro. Sit tight. Hold on. He's leading us to a trap. My dummy head. I shoot this with my bow and arrow all the time. Where'd he go? Switching over to my other flashlight. Hold on a second. Oh, I just heard something from this side over here.
Well, I'm telling you, he's leading us into a trap.
100%.
Why are we following him?
I don't know. He's definitely leading us to a trap, though. Here, hold this flashlight. I need both my hands, just in case.
Right.
He threw one on my head. I use this for like, I shoot it with an arrow and everything. Dude, he's definitely leading us to a trap, man. I'm telling you. I don't think we should be pursuing this guy at nighttime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid idea. He went through the trail. I think he's going back to his actual fort, though.
And then you ran away. You're trying to lead us to some place.
Yeah, he's leading us back to the fort. Here, take the camera. Hey, try. Oh. You gotta zoom in on that?
Yeah.
I seen him run across down the end of that trail.
I think the camera got him too.
Dude, this team of freaking flashlight's amazing. All right, well, clearly he's leading us to like a trap, right?
Yeah, dude, I don't want to go deeper.
You don't know what he's got set up, like booby traps. You know what I mean? We haven't been to his campsite. We should definitely go in the daytime. Dude, imagine the trees like set up to fall on us.
I have a feeling, man. I have a feeling. There's some booby trap he's leading us into. I don't want to take a step further, man.
Like, you guys know I'm really like psychic. Like, I always have like this intuition that something bad's gonna happen, and every bone in my body's telling me to not go. And I don't think I want to be honest. It sounds like somebody took a step. Turn off your light for a sec.
Bro, I don't want to turn it off.
Turn it off, hold on. Here, you take the big flashlight. If you need to, turn it on right away. Let me man the camera over here. Turn it off. Look at that look at that light. He's there, he's moving around. He's got a flashlight on. You see him? Oh, there it is again.
Who's there?
Where'd it go?
He's back at the house.
Oh, there it is. That's not the house, dude. That's near the creek. Oh, you turn off his light. Oh, it's back on now. Wait, how did he get there so quickly?
Wait, wasn't he just behind it?
I swear to God, he was just behind us.
I'm so confused.
Wait, is there two of them? If there's two of them, that's a concern.
Unnerved and surrounded by darkness, they returned to camp. But the feeling of being followed only grew stronger. After hearing strange sounds and seeing flickers of movement near the creek, they decided it was too dangerous to stay. Mo finally admitted that he hadn't told Moshi about the camo man ahead of time, fearing his friend wouldn't come otherwise. After a tense conversation, they agreed to leave the forest entirely. They packed up their gear and headed out, still glancing over their shoulders. They knew they had escaped a dangerous situation, but the mystery was far from over. Some believe the camo man is simply a disturbed individual, possibly living off-grid and reacting violently to anyone invading his space. Others suspect it's a more calculated stalker, possibly obsessed with Mo. The diary suggests intent, and the repeated appearances hint at planning rather than coincidence. The possibility of a second stalker only deepens the unease. What if Mo and Moshi had kept following the camo man that night? And if there really were two, how long had they been watching from the shadows? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.